interact with your speakers, with your collaborators, because at PRM, what we wanted to do is we collaborate with each and every one of you guys here. So with that, I think that we're ready with the presentation. Currently, so again, in this particular discussion, we will continue to have a music format. The same approach, what will happen is that I'll be asking questions, music-related questions. Then let's try to check if you guys are familiar with all of these questions. And of course, you will receive a small token from PRM, just so to make sure that, this is not going to be something that's boring or gusto natin participative, and this is going to be an engaging one. So with that, again, this is the agenda for this particular afternoon. What we wanted to do is to share with you all what is music for business. We've already shared that earlier today. We will be discussing music and the Philippines, more numbers that would support all of the details that was shared earlier. We will also share with you the impact, as the new era shared earlier. Meron talagang impact yung music sa businesses. And in addition to that, what are the requirements of music for business, the blueprint of music, the ownership, IP for music, and how we in this particular room as an organization or as an ecosystem help together to grow the music community. That being said, as I mentioned earlier, let's start with music by the numbers. So what is the business behind the showmanship? As we've earlier mentioned, right, music is part of the media community. So what you wanted to do is to show you all what are the numbers to support. So in this particular slide, you will see here the impact of music on a global music landscape. So here you can see that 28.6 billion is the global recorded music revenue in 2023. This particular number that you're currently seeing right now was provided by the the International Federation of Phonographic Industry, of course, with the IFPI help and support. As we collaborate together with different organizations, PRM is also supported by IFPI. So drilling it down further, on a global music report, there's 2.6 billion in 2023. There's global recorded music revenue, and it grew year on year. You can see here that there is 10.2% growth. And we continue to see that trend, not just globally, but also in the Philippines, as earlier mentioned by the IFPI, or our partner from IFPI. So, as I've mentioned earlier, we will have Music Madness still. So, this particular question, the question is, who is the number one global artist, do you think, for 2023? I'll give you, a list of options, and then the first one to again raise your hand will be able to answer. So, is it BTS, Blackpink, Taylor Swift, or Beyonce? I can see here the first one that raised the hand, Taylor Swift. Is it Taylor Swift? Let's check. The answer is C, correct. That is Taylor Swift. So please give the short token again. So what we wanted to do again is to share with you what are the impact in terms of the performers, producers, on how is it affected in global music. So earlier, as I mentioned, Taylor Swift dominated the global artist charts for 2023. Now, if we're talking about the global scenario, we also wanted to drill it down further on a Southeast Asian perspective. So, with that, there's a $390 million Southeast Asia recorded music market size in 2023. So that covers your Southeast Asian market, including, of course, in the Philippines. So, speaking of Philippines, here in our area, in our land, of course, if you want to measure the severity or the impact of music, it's $77.1 million. That is Philippines recorded music market size in 2023. So, for this particular discussion, what we'll do is that we will look into it on a global, and then eventually drilling it down further on a Philippine economic landscape. So we've already drilled down the statistics on a numerical value. So let's discuss further the music engagement. So on a behavioral standpoint, what would be the music consumption here together, at least in the Philippines? So in this particular slide, you will see that on a global standpoint, 20.7 is the average hour spent listening to a music in a week. Can you just imagine? Globally, Music is really important because the average listening for a week is 20.7. Almost one day is shared listening to music. So if we look into it further, 71% of people says music is important to their mental health. So can you just imagine the severity of music, how it affects your mental health capacity, and also how we can correlate our health and music. On a global music analysis as well, 74% of people is aware of AI's music capability. Can you just imagine, with the dynamics right now of global trends, etc., there's also an AI standpoint on how we can measure music. So, follow-up question, what is the number one favorite genre globally? Can somebody check? Tingnan natin. Nakita ko nagtaas na si Madam, so sige dito tayo. The options that we have here is a rock, pop, hip-hop, or R&B?
Pop.
Pop.
Yeah.
Are you sure? Pop. Let's check. Is it pop? Correct. The answer globally is pop. So, later, we will discuss further kung sa global merong pop. Ano naman yung pinapakinggan dito sa Pilipinas? So, global just wanted to share, right? The global music analysis top categories, again from the IFPI data, we have here pop, the second is rock, the third is hip-hop, the fourth will be dance or electronic, and then the fifth one will be Latin. Why is it important to understand this? Because in your respective businesses, we wanted to make sure that you are using and utilizing music accordingly, according to a sonic branding perspective, as we've learned earlier, and how it can impact your businesses. So similarly, globally, there's 29% of unused license or illegal usage of license. We are talking about music protection, so we wanted to understand as well what's the percentage of people listening to music illegally. So globally, 29%. Can you just imagine later, sa Pilipinas, gaano karami ang nakikinig or gumagamit ng music? Let's say na hindi pa alam kung ano yung legal way. Mamaya, malaman natin. So, music in the Philippines, we wanted to share this particular data specifically so that you can enjoy. Earlier today, nalaman natin we have 20.8, if I'm not mistaken, average listening hours. Now, here in the Philippines, it's 28.3. That is the average listening hours. Can you just imagine, Filipinos spends one day, more than one day, listening to music. That's how, and it also supports the data earlier today na Musika Pilipinas shared. Nakikita natin na sa Pilipinas, we love music a lot. Specifically, most of us nakikinig sa music more than one day. Can you just imagine how that impacts us as a nation and how we can work together to grow it further? So that's what we wanted to share with you. So similarly, on a affection standpoint, dito sa Pilipinas, dahil importante sa atin yung music, 90% says that music helps them relax and cope up with stress. Specifically, alam niyo naman yung COVID, yung mga situation na nangyari sa atin. Lahat tayo, 90% sa atin, imagine 9 out of 10, tatakbo sa music para just to feel comforted and to use music as a stress reliever. So similarly, 88% said na yung music is important to their mental health. Hindi lang siya stress reliever. It goes deeper into, having to relieve the stress. Music is important for us Filipinos to make sure that we have good mental health. So, nakita niyo na kanina, next would be an interactive game again, or at least question. So, the next question for Music Madness, what is the number one favorite genre in the Philippines? Kanina, tinanong natin globally pop. So ngayon, tignan natin kung sino naman. Is it A, OPM, B, K-pop, C, pop, D, P-pop? Meron tayo dito. Sir, ano po yun? K-pop daw. Any other guesses meron dito? Sige, tignan natin. P-pop. Any other guesses? OPM. Any other guesses? Pop. O sige, tingnan natin kung sino yung tama sa apat na yun. Ha? Tingnan natin. Merong sumagot ng OPM, may sumagot unang-una na K-pop, may pop, may P-pop. So the correct answer, at least, is, the answer is C. Pop pa rin. So globally, pop is dominating, and here also in the Philippines, pop is dominating. Why again we wanted to share that so that you can use it in your respective businesses. So thank you again to our winner. So di ba nakakatuwa eh, kasi dito sa atin sa Pilipinas, we're so diverse. We listen to everything, K-pop, P-pop, pop, and OPM. So lahat yun, we're a small group, but then we can see that everybody has a different opinion on what Filipino listens to. Kasi iba't iba rin tayo nung pinapakinggan. Now, moving on. As I mentioned, pop is the number one. The second would be OPM, so that's second close. Third would be acoustic. The fourth one would be R&B. And then the fifth one is hip-hop. Earlier today, may mga bago dito sa category sa atin. Kanina may Latin, globally. Ngayon, dito sa atin, iba rin naman yung timbre ng pinapakinggan natin. So, why do we want to share that again so that you can use these insights para sa ano? So, earlier, ilan yung kanina? 29% yung illegal usage of music. Now here, in the Philippines, illegal usage of music is 77%. Ganon kataas yung numero, how we want to compare it globally vis-a-vis here in the Philippines. So now, why are we doing this? Why are we having this conversation right now? Because the general objective, again, of everyone here in this particular room is for music protection, promotion, and partnership. So let's drill it down further. So Philippine music analysis, 57% of Gen Zs naman enjoys being one of the first among dun sa friends nila. Oh, okay, kung kunwari crowd tayo, lahat tayo friends dito. 57% sa atin sasabihin na, uy, gusto ko ako yung unang makakarinig. Kunwari, let's just say sa Ben and Ben or SB19 or kunwari kay Pixie, ako yung unang nakarinig sa kanya. Tapos sasabihin ko sa friend ko na, uy, kilala mo ba si Pixie? Ako yung unang nakadiscover sa kanya. Ganon yung mga Gen Zs natin. So let's drill it down further on a behavioral analysis. 41% of Pinoy actively seeks independent films and music artists. So, ito yung target market ng mga natin, ng mga up and coming. So at PRM, as we've mentioned earlier, we collaborate with all of different institutions that supports music or has severity and gravitas in terms of music. This particular data that I'm currently sharing right now came from Havas Ortega. So if you guys are not familiar, Havas is one of the leading media agencies in the Philippines. So ito yung mga research nila tungkol sa Pilipinas right here, right now. So nagtanong sila across, and this is the source, finding on music based on YouGov data. So YouGov is yung global system nila that research for different types of questions. So in addition to that, let's drill it down further. 45% of Pinoys are willing to pay premium content. So more, parang kalahati na, yung willing na magbayad. Kung gusto nila, discovering high quality engagement. What does that mean? It also echoes in the media industry that content is king. If you have good content, people would support you and would want to consume your content. So it also correlates dun sa mga media friends natin na if you guys are starting up or also with our musical friends, if you have good content, people would probably support you all the way. Or at least sa Pilipinas, kalahati ng Pilipino ang gustong bayaran at sumuporta sa inyo. So specifically, let's drill it down further. 61% of Gen Zs are open to trying entertainment genres that they are not usually interested in. So again, why are we sharing this? Because if you have good content and it is entertaining, or if your music is something similar to bago nga siya, maganda rin siya, susuportahan siya ng 61% ng mga Pinoys. So, Similarly, 51% of Filipinos are interested to listen to music for leisure, for hobbies, and also for their interests. So let's drill it down further. If you guys wanted to check ano ba yung consumption naman ng Pilipino, saan sila nakikinig online, specifically, number one would be YouTube. Yun yung pinupuntahan nila kasi makikinig sila. And then the second one would be Spotify. And the next would be Google Play. So lahat ng Philippine data, what we wanted to share is that we wanted this economical data or statistical data so that it can support your businesses. So 63% of Pinoys discover new music via social media or music blogs. Why is it important as well? Your businesses, you guys as a performer, should be available online because online is now where people, or at least 63% of Filipinos, nandi-discover nila kayo online. So can you just imagine how it is, I guess, how social media opens up opportunities for performers, for businesses alike to grow their business. So, kanina, with the help of our friends from New Era, we discussed the impact of music in terms of business. So what are the numbers to support those cases further? Na kanina, sabi may client engagement, they stay longer, bumibili ng mas marami, and these are the numbers that would support yung earlier na binigay sa atin from our friends from New Era. So what we wanted to share on a music for business standpoint is, sabi nga kanina, sonic branding, di ba? The right music can add significant value to your businesses. For example, yung kanina nga, Shopee. Isang tunog lang, maririnig mo na. Yung kanina, yung home credit, tatlong tune lang. Home credit pala yun. It also signifies, it will also back up by the numbers that I'll be sharing with you guys. So here, what we wanted to share, on a commercial standpoint, 37.1% is increase in sales in clothing. So kung kayo ay retail, yung music ay nakaka-apekto pagka merong tamang brand fit. What does brand fit mean? Kanina sabi ni Mike, di ba? Sonic branding. So kung tama yung piniplay na music dun sa mga establishments nyo, there will be a 37.1 increase in sales. So it's correlated to the one that we mentioned earlier from New Era and the sonic branding standpoint. So similarly, sabi kanina nga, magsistay ng mas matagal kapag ka nagustuhan nila yung music dun sa loob. And that is true. Specifically, if the music is correct, 4 out of 10 will stay longer in your establishment. Or they can revisit, they recommend the place, and they tend to buy more. Drilling it down further, kapag ka tinitignan mo siya on a demographical standpoint, say for example, if yung brand is leaning towards the younger ones, music is also important, similar to what Musika Pilipinas shared earlier. Mas nagko-consume yung music, mas may epekto sa kanila, depende kung ano yung target market or yung target audience na kinakausap mo. So, music does not just affect your external stakeholders. When you say external stakeholders, these are your clients, your buyers and all, but it also affects your employees, meaning your internal stakeholders. There's a correlation between, music being played and music makes employees more productive and relaxed. Of course, on a business standpoint, we also wanted to acknowledge the importance of everyone, or at least our internal stakeholders. That's why, sabi kanina ni Mike, the right music will make your employees productive and relaxed. So on a commercial standpoint, 66% says that if the music played in their workplace is correct, it will positively affect their well-being. So yun din yung overall goal, di ba? On a music standpoint, you look into it on a holistic approach, not just your partners, not just your external stakeholders, but also your employees or yung mga workers natin, because again, this will definitely improve your businesses. And lastly, 80% says that professionally produced and selected music is a good for customer relations and sales. So sabi kanina ni Mike, kunwari dun sa isang establishment, Philippe and Son, kinurate nila depende dun sa 4 pillars. So kanina din, sabi ng New Era, meron silang type of music depende dun sa hours. So this specific numbers would also support those presentations earlier. So, conversely, if there are positive impact in terms of the music, there are also negative impact kung mali yung mga music na ginagamit natin. So specifically, if you can see here, wrong music will have a negative impact and might decrease your sales. So what are the effects or what are the potential effects? So number 1, customers would leave. 41% says na pag mali ang music na nag-play dun sa establishment nila, aalis sila. Kasi masakit sa tenga, or hindi yun yung music na gusto nila for that particular brand. And worse, they will not come back. They will buy less, and they recommend others not to visit that particular business. So can you just imagine, if the music is being played, really there's a negative impact in your respective businesses. So specifically, if we want to drill it down further, there are instances na 4.3% yung mawawalang sales if randomly selected songs are being played in your establishment. Meaning, walang solid branding or walang music marketing yung sarili niyong establishment. So, we've already talked about the numerical value and the impact of music. We've already talked about promotion and partnership. So let's discuss further how together we can protect, or at least the protection aspect of it. So we've earlier mentioned about PRM. So we are Philippines Recorded Music Rights, or PRM. And what we wanted to share with you guys is that we are the ones who's trying to build a brighter future for the music industry. What does that mean? Please focus your attention on the screen. So we are PRM, that is Philippines Recorded Music in general. What we do is that we are an organization that protects the rights of musicians, performers, and producers here in the Philippines. So what does that mean? At PRM, what we wanted to share is that protecting music is our passion. So the advocacy of PRM is to make sure that music grows in the Philippines, and that we represent the record labels and the performers. When we say record labels, we cover the international record labels and also the local record labels. What does that mean? You have there for the international Universal Music Group, Sony and Warner Music. But we also cover the local giants of the Philippine music industry. What does that mean? Our friends from GMA, kunwari, kung kapamilya, kapatid, kapuso kayo, lahat yan ay covered ng PRM. So we have there GMA, Universal Records, Star Records, Police, etc., and Soundstripe. So a caveat is that all sub-labels of these recording labels, international and local, are also part of PRM. To be specific, for example, offshore records, or kung saan yung record label ni Pixie earlier, our Guards Pixie here, is part of offshore records, but that is a sub-label or supported by Sony Music. So ibig sabihin, part din si Pixie ng PRM. And all the performers signed under these record labels are also part of PRM specifically. So what does that mean? We protect them on an intellectual property rights standpoint. The goal of the organization is to institutionalize an organization for record labels and performers. Specifically, if we want to understand further, we wanted to give credit to where credit is due. What does that mean? If you hear your music being played kunwari sa, let's say, fast food A, narinig mo yung music na kumakanta dun sa'yo, and we collected for that particular fast food, then we will give royalties to all of the artists that they use. So that's the general objective of the organization. We wanted to give credit to where credit is due. And these are just the guardians and the pillars we wanted to share. And then we have guardians and pillars on a producer and performer standpoint. So you have there Noy Volante, Sir Louis Ocampo, Josh, Gino. So these are the board members of PRM. But let's drill it down further. This is all about music for business. So in your specific businesses, what are the requirements for you to support music legally? So ito na yung sasagot earlier dun sa question natin. So how can we work together on an industry by industry standpoint? How can your specific industry support the music community? So here is a question again. The question is, I'm playing music using a paid premium license music app. That means I can play music in my business without securing other license. True or false? Sige, taas tayo kamay para alam ko kung sino bibigyan natin na ano. Pero nakita ko na dito si Sir, na una ata si Sir. So you think, sir, what would be the answer?
Answer pero false.
False. So sabi niya, I'm playing music using a paid premium app. That means I can play music in my business without securing other license. Sabi ay false. So the correct answer is, that is true. The answer is false. So see, what does that mean? Because music use, kapag kayong mga licensed music app, nagbayad kayo, music for that specific platform is opted to use for personal consumption. Now, if you use music for public performance standpoint and for commercial purposes, you need to secure different licenses, specifically, depende kung ano yung businesses niyo. So let's drill it down further. So public performance license basically is the license that you need if you use music on a commercial standpoint, meaning you get to increase your business profitability dun sa usage of music. So there are different types of licenses na required. So ito rin yung ma-answer kanina. No? So on an event standpoint, on a wedding engagement standpoint, dalawa yung kailangan tignan. Kunwari kung yung event nyo is a concert, merong specific requirements na kailangang bayaran yung events organizer and yung events place. For example, let's say, dinala dito si BTS. Whoever yung events organizer na nagdala kay BTS, syempre kikita sila using ticket sales. So a percent of that should be given to the music usage na ginamit nila doon. For example, gumamit sila, although BTS concert yun, no? Gumamit sila ng Blackpink music doon. They need to pay the public performance rights for different artists na ginamit nila doon. So similarly, if for example, the event of that concert, the BTS concert was held in, let's say, Arena would need to secure public performance rights on a venue standpoint. So depende kung paano titignan. It's a correlation between different organizations and of course where the music was used. So depende yan kung TV, radio, digital yung music. There are different types of public performance rights depending on the actual music usage. So next question, how many owners are there in one song? Kunwari, let's use Dahil maingay yung bini ngayon. Yung salamin-salamin. O pantropiko. Sinong team salamin dito or team pantropiko? So, may ano ba dito? Bloom. Anyone? Walang bloom dito? O sino ang ating dito? Gento. Wala din. Baka tatanong ko sino ang Benny Saturno dito, ganyan. Team Benny Saturno ba ganyan yung tatanungin ko? Anyway, sige. So let's use Bini as an example in Pantropico. So the question is, how many owners are there in one song or sound recorded music? These are your options. Is it A1, B5, C3, B8? Anyone? Any wild guesses? From the group. Ito, meron tayo dito. Sige. Ilan? 3.
Singer, lyricist, and composer.
Singer, lyricist, and composer. Meron ditong sinasabi na isa pa. One?
Yeah.
Sino po?
The composer.
The composer. Okay. Iba yung school of thought, no? Meron din dito. What's your answer, ma'am? Ilan po? 1. Okay, sige. So the correct answer, so merong dalawang 1 na sumagot, may isang 3. So the correct answer, may narinig ako doon na 5 dito sa likod. Meron bang number 8? May 8. Meron ditong 8. As many as possible. The more the merrier. Yun yung ano natin. Yun yung ano natin dito. Kasi merong team, may 1, may 5, may 3, may 8. So the correct answer is letter C. There are 3 owners of one sound recorded music. So ito yung sasagot kung sino yung mga naguguluhan earlier. Kung ano ba yung difference ng mga iba't ibang organization collecting for royalties. So, one song, yung Pantropico, merong 3 owners yun. The first one would be the composer, sabi niya kanina. Una yung nagsulat ng kanta, whoever wrote the song. The second one is the record label who published the song o yung nag-record ng kanta. And then the third one would be the performer. So yung Pantropico, the first one, let's say si Jonathan Manalo of ABS-CBN. Let's just say, because sure, kung sino yung nagsulat si Jonathan or si Maloy, let's just use Maloy as an example. Kung si Maloy yung nagsulat, sa kanya mapupunta yung royalties on a publisher's number or yung nagsulat, yung lyrics. The second one is that yung Bini is under Star Records, so the second owner is Star Records, and then the third one would be the performer, which is Bini. So why do we need to understand this? Why do we need to understand kung sino yung mga yung mga owners ng sound recorded music? Because here in the Philippines, there are different representations in terms of sound recorded music. What does that mean? So, merong nagre-represent sa songwriter. There's also a representative for the record label and the performer. And I've already answered this earlier. So, here at PRM, we represent the side of the recording label and the performer. I cannot speak on behalf of Philscap, but I can only speak on behalf of PRM. What we do is that we take care, or we protect, we promote, we increase partnership, and we definitely want to protect the intellectual property of the record labels and the performer. Kasi iba't ibang owners of music, they would have different types of ownership, depende kung anong type of owner sila ng kanta. So what's the impact of your support? Ano nga ba yung impact ng lahat tayo dito? Nag-uusap tayo, nagtatry tayo mag-imagine kung paano natin masusuportahan yung music industry. The more that we get to, support the music industry, this is the impact of you guys supporting, for example, different collective management organization. Earlier today, sinabi natin that PRM is a young organization which started in 2021. And just this year, we started the first distribution for the record label and performer. So ano yung impact nun? Tignan natin to.
Welcome to PRM Red Party 2024. Protecting music is our passion. I'm Gail, also known from Manila's hottest monster, RX at 3.1. First of all, happy anniversary to PRM, their third anniversary, but now a very special evening because we are rewarding, of course, acknowledging people in the music scene and, of course, making sure that your efforts are rewarded. Congratulations to everybody and happy anniversary to PRM.
What's up guys, it's your boy Joe. I'm so excited to be part of PRM. Red Boys with Super Saya kasi perform with Manila at we began in 8 months already. Super surreal.
Many artists are normally on their own when they start. So when they do the process of protecting their works, they have to register with the copyright, and of course, later on, when other people play their songs, they have to protect that also. So being part of a group like PRM would make it a lot easier. We will do the licensing, we will do the protection.
Protecting music is our passion.
Protecting music is our passion.
PRM, protecting music is our passion.
PRM, protecting music is our passion.
So at PRM, what we did earlier this year is that we already gave credit to where credit is due. Ibig sabihin, whatever we collected since our beginning in 2021, we started the distribution to the performers and also to the producers. As you've seen earlier, although we're a startup organization, we wanted to fight for the rights of our partners from the record labels and also for the performer standpoint. So when you support organizations like PRM, you give credit to where credit is due and you support the music community to grow further, to create a good community that would be sustainable to all of the organization. So, now that we've understand how licensing works, how music protection, promotion, and partnership works, what can you expect? What's the overall key takeaway for this particular afternoon? In summary, what we wanted to share is that for MP3 2024, we learned that music affects profitability. There is a correlation, it's either positive or negative depending on how you use music, between music and your business. Music also affects the well-being of your stakeholders, may it be internal and external, because globally, there are supporting data that would affect the importance of music internally and externally, regardless to your customers or to your internal stakeholders, which are your employees. And next, music is helpful to our health, specifically for well-being, as a stress reliever, and for our mental health. And on an MP3 standpoint, what we also wanted to share, music promotion. We here at PRM, we wanted to promote the music. We encourage you to let's all work together to support the music industry and understand the importance of intellectual property for music. Because we learned earlier na dito sa Pilipinas, 70% of music usage is illegal. Or at least, we're trying to mitigate that. Together, here in this particular room, hand in hand, as an ecosystem, we'll be able to improve that. Next, music protection. Your help is needed to protect the music community. We wanted to make sure that everyone here can give credit to where credit is due, because that's the overall goal of our organization, or at least this blooming industry that we do have, or this vibrant and great industry that we are in. So next, music partnership. We wanted to open collaboration. So as we earlier, the New Era team mentioned earlier that they are collaborative, and that's also our goal here at PRM. We wanted to open opportunities for you guys to have open doors if you want to have collaboration in terms of music protection, promotion, and partnership. So that concludes my discussion for today. For today, what you wanted to do is for you guys, for every one of us, to make sure that there is music protection, promotion, and partnership. We wanted to make sure that the music industry will continue to grow and that we at PRM wanted to give credit to where credit is due. That being said, again, my name is Francis Buen. Here at PRM, we encourage everyone to join the movement. Join the movement as we grow together the music industry. So I think we will open the floor.
Yes, so thank you so much for that in-depth talk.